This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by WBO World Cruiserweight Champion Chris Billam-Smith here in London. Chris, always a pleasure. How are you? How are you feeling?
Yeah, all good, thank you, mate. It's warm in here, so apologies if everyone's watching me sweat, but got a nice suit on, so yeah, so it's got warm.
So sharply dressed, Chris. So I'm sure the viewers will give you a pass there. Talk to me about the press conference. Just I said to Richard, you might disagree. It felt a little tense. Do you think that's fair to say, or do you disagree?
Maybe it seemed tense because I just pulled him up on his contradictions. There's a couple of things in there. He was contradicting himself and stuff. So that would make it seem more tense. But I like to pull people up on their shortcomings.
Well, his shortcomings come June 15th.
There's too many to list. We ain't got long enough for this interview. Look, I'm a better fighter, experienced, attributes-wise, all round. The only attribute he's got on me is punch power, but it's not to say that I don't punch, which is proven. Lawrence had punch power on me. Do you know what I mean? And look what happened there. So yeah.
He mentioned that word deteriorate. He's mentioned the clip which has been going around. What do you make of it when he believes that you are on the decline, when he looks at kind of a wear and tear on your body?
I don't think he believes it. I think he's trying to push a narrative, maybe to buy into judges and referees. But obviously we've got very good referees and judges that won't buy into that sort of thing. So yeah, maybe he's trying to push that, and that's his only hope.
When you look at the developments of the pair of you since the first fight, you've had tougher fights, you've had more, I don't want to say more challenging, but more on the line in your fights. Obviously become a world champion since. But where do you think he has improved since you two first crossed paths?
He's calmer, he's more patient, and yeah, he's a little bit neater. But as much as they're improvements, I think they are not the improvements for this fight. I think that's going to make it easier for me.
You mentioned easier for you, then how do you envisage June 15th playing out?
Just me doing me, and me really surprising him with everything I've done since the first fight. The differences I've made, I think that goes to say, in the Lawrence fight, Lawrence noticed the differences. I changed as a fighter, even in the short time he was out of the gym, which was wasn't that long. It was only a year. So if he's trying to think of me in the first fight, then 5 years is an even longer time. So those improvements are massive, and everyone that spars with me might watch me and think, oh, he's just this, he's just that, but then they get out thinking, wow, that's why he's world champion.
It's all been relatively light-hearted so far, but as you draw closer to fight week, do you think at any point it might become a little bit more personal because of what's on the line, the chance to right the wrong of the first fight?
No, it's not personal for me. It's personal for me in the sense of it's personally what I want to do in my career. It's not personal man to man. It's nice to avenge a loss, so that's all that matters. I don't look at it like it's me against Richard and it's eating away at me. Look, I just want to box and beat every man I ever face, and now I get the opportunity to avenge that loss. Chris,
we did an interview in Manchester before Ellis got a new fought to become unified champ, and we spoke about where this fight could land, and at the time it was Selhurst Park or O2 with the front runners. I interviewed Shane 10 minutes ago, and he said up until 2 days ago the Bournemouth ground was still in the running and there were still talks about it potentially taking place there. Why did it fall through in the end? Yeah,
I think just because the club have got to sort their pitch out for pre-season and for the season. June 15th was too late for them. That's why they did it last year, the day before the last game of the season, because we were away. So they need a timeline, and they just can't do it. And as a fan of the club, I don't want to be a reason that they're getting fined or losing matches because of a poor pitch or anything like that. So yeah, we're at Selhurst Park. Maybe they don't care about their pitch, and maybe they'll hate it even more after what I do on June 15th.
With you being at Selhurst Park, how do you expect to see it sell? Richard reckons maybe 16,000, 17,000 will turn out. We haven't really got anything to go off because we haven't seen a boxing match take place there. So what's your take on it?
I don't know. I know a decent amount of away fans will be there. I know my fans will turn out. I have no idea what really relationship he has with the club and the fans. Whereas I know mine with my football club, and I know them lot are going to turn out in full force. So yeah, we'll see.
I know it's one fight at a time, but would you say the Zurdo Ramirez fight is at the forefront after Richard Riakporhe if all goes to plan on June 15th?
That's it. Deal with the mandatory, and then I want to go to America and fight Zurdo. We exchanged a few messages on Instagram. I'd love to fight in America. That's the next dream. So yeah, deal with the mandatory and then move out there.
Chris, one final thing from you. Imagine this is the last time you and Richard are going to speak to each other before fight week. Have you got a message for him? His message to you was the midnight train is coming.
The midnight train is getting cancelled.